when the driver would be alarmed automatically about the violation. Would be overspeeding, over-acceleration, harsh braking, overturning, whatever. You can react by activating the output, by playing the audio file. You can even change the conditions depending on the time of the day or the weather. If it rains, you can apply different speed limits and react accordingly to new speed limits. So, as the result of this small care of the driver, and about the customer, you can see the visible results. So obviously the safety of the driver and the pedestrians is increased, and obviously the financial efficiency of the company, of the fleet, is increased as well. So it's quite simple to do. It's the idea behind it that is really easy to do. It's called easy logic actually, and it doesn't require a lot of knowledge in programming. At this stage at least, but it gives great opportunities and great results. Another case, which is quite complicated one, it was done in ore extraction, to be precise, in the gold extraction, and the problem the customer had, I think I should have some background about this industry. So they are working with the water, and the water is collected on the ore, it should be drained from there, otherwise the ore in the mine would be flooded. So the old system worked with the man. So man came to the pump, pushed the button, and the water was pumped out of the mine. Instead of it, our partner made a quite sophisticated algorithm, not asking us for doing it, because we, as a hardware manufacturer, would require for some volumes or some time, because it usually takes time, obviously. They did it themselves. There is actually an image of the entire system, and all the magic is done inside the Belize kind device. They have made the integration with the flow meter of RS-485 with these programming skills. Each time when the water level exceeds set limit, the device automatically activates the output to switch on the pump. Then the water goes through the flow meter, the volume of water is being counted and set to violent platform. So the result is awesome. They don't need the dispatcher to do it. It is done automatically. And this is the idea. How can you call it GPS tracker? How can you call it violent? Not IoT, and this is not IoT, I don't know. The third case is quite simple as well, and it could be done right away by you at your offices, at your facilities. It is done by a partner in their own service center. They have reduced their electricity expenses twice with Easy Logic and the GPS tracker. They are controlling the temperature regimes. They have different compartments in their service center, and in each compartment there should be different temperature regime. So the temperature sensor, our sensors are obviously connected to the tracker, and you can check which sensor gets which indicator. While the temperature is being changed, then you activate the output, which switch on the heater or switch it off. Depending on the day of the week, you don't need it to keep it on the weekends. You can switch the system off, so the script will not work, it will never be done. So results quite simple. The temperature is standardized and is done on the set values. The heater working hours and electricity costs reduction is done twice. So, and the customer is able to change the temperature remotely. So this is quite simple. This is just a few cases which we decided to draw your attention today. There are many more opportunities which could be done with Easy Logic. And I'm sure that some of you have some real great success stories with Easy Logic. We will be happy to have you at Gurtam mega stand, where we'll be exhibiting during this week, showing more of the features which you can do, give you ideas on where you can benefit with it, and hope that we have a good time together. All right, thanks so much.
Okay, it seems to me that we have some time for questions, so you can ask one or two. I have no questions online, so we are waiting for the questions from the audience. Okay, so you left them all for for GITEX.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. And now comes the company most published in Gurtam blog. The company known for its non-standard implementations and like such projects. And Sanjeeva Kure will talk about how to act like this when performing in a small country, island country, and become one of the best integrators in the community. So let's meet him on the stage.
Hello everyone. I'm going to talk about some of the island-based solutions that we have introduced. Just to give a brief, we started our operation in the year 2000, and now we realized some time ago that vehicle tracking is and showing where the vehicle is no longer important thing or magic for the customer. So they started the solution started going into multiple areas of the business. So then we started to realize that at very early stages that providing niche solution without even giving them, not as a complete solution, but just some niche areas of their customers' businesses, that we started developing small solutions. So that we started finding customers everywhere. And so this is one of the solutions, Cloud Guard. Here, like, we provide a rugged handheld device as a security device, and then we install checkpoints within the premises or wherever they have multiple factories in the factory location, and then we load the location details that into the wireless, and then the guards, when the guards patrol, they have to take the device, and then all the data are uploaded to the servers. Then basically they can take the reports based on automatically the system. Now normally the people will then go to the checkpoints and take the data if they have visited the place or various other conditions like there was a water leak, light switched on. Everything can be taken from the phone and uploaded to the database, and reports will get generated to the customer automatically using the wallet. So that it can go to the monitoring staff without bypassing all the middlemen. And another similar solution is the cloud attendant. With this solution, we managed to get into hospitality and healthcare industry. Here what we do is, these companies have a huge problem where we identify that when a patient or a room service is called, how fast it was responded. The management couldn't find this very easily, so they couldn't control the quality. So we start clicking when the patient or the room service is called, and then once the patient is attended by the nurse or the room service by the waiter, they will we monitor the time between those two and then report it to the management so that they can take decisions based on how fast it was responded. So it's a simple solution, but when this data uploaded and report can be taken to normal. It's just a violent platform, nothing new, but we place the system behind the scenes, and we give the customer only this solution. So we don't tell about all the other details, but we just use the solution. But also here we made the hardware interfaces, so most of the customers, they have an indicator or some electronic system where we made an interface between wired and the electronic interface which we supply. And when it comes to if it's a brand new solution that they take from us. We provide the whole solution, including the indication system. And this is another application that we developed. This is a mobile app that we developed for Nimbus, to use with Nimbus. And here, what it does is, it can, the customers don't want, I mean, the passengers don't want all the routes. So they just can upload only their route, and maybe 1 or 2 routes that they want. And they can see where the bus is coming. And we have also implemented this into a lot of corporate vehicle pickup systems, where the passenger can wait inside, come out when the vehicle is coming. And we send this with QR code. So even if it is introduced to public buses, in the bus stand you can have that routes that go through the bus stand, and with a QR code. So passenger come to the bus stand, they just scan only their QR code, and then they see where the bus is coming. And they can, if they don't want to continue, they can just delete. And with this solution, actually, our Nimbus penetration to the market increased like within few months, like over 1,000-fold. And because everybody started using this, and also just because people started using it, lot of buses that GPS was not installed got into our platform. So now it started creating a new business. So these are some of our solutions. If you have any questions.
Okay, no questions online still. Okay, if no questions from the audience, we'll just thank Sanjeeva and continue with the next speaker. The next speaker will elaborate on the situation when all the world goes wireless, and as well telematics. And I should like to tell you about how telematics hardware manufacturers follow the trends and benefit from it. So let us welcome welcome Ksenia Techko from Neometica on stage with the applause again. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. We are very happy to be here, and I hope you are not too tired. Actually, we are also located in Russia, and as maybe most of you already know, that we are manufacturer of GPS trackers, RFID systems, and recently we have decided to go wireless as well, just to support this very modern trend, and to become more competitive in this way. So in this way we have developed and designed, and I would not say new device, but we have designed a new solution, because the idea we got on our mind while creating this was not just to create another device, that was to fix specific problems in the market. In this way we created actually, first of all, ADM007, our James Bond GPS tracker, matchbox size, so beloved by our customers already in the whole world, because we have tested it in so many countries already, in so many regions, and everywhere it obtained success, and people, our customers actually, we are very impressed by its quality, its very miniature size, and its affordability, because it's one of the cheapest trackers now, and one of the most efficient. So when I was talking about a solution, I meant that together with these GPS trackers, ADM007, actually we had at the moment ADM007, which was not Bluetooth. We made it Bluetooth and added our first Bluetooth low energy tracker, ADM31, which is the temperature and illumination sensor. And actually, based on this pattern, we are in the process of creating new wireless sensors as per our customers' request, because we understand that requirements are different and the markets are really big, and there are always companies who want to control rotation, impact, inclination, maybe magnetic field, and actually any other desirable parameters might be as well realizable. So these are just very general sectors and fields where our solution might be used. So refrigerators, because we were thinking of refrigerators initially while creating this new solution. However, already now we understand that it's not limited and it's not restricted to this field, because our customers now find so many other applications of this solution that I can just enumerate them by thousands and thousands. So this is our first pilot temperature and illumination sensor, which measures temperature in the range between -30 up to 60 degrees of Celsius. It measures also illumination and has the coverage up to 100 meters and IP65 and replaceable battery with the service life up to 1 year. So actually the main idea is to control perishable produce, medicines, some cargo which requires respecting specific rules of transportation to prevent it damage during the transportation. So, you know, I think this conference was 3 weeks ago. That was in Warsaw when we were talking about the synergy of technologies. I think here with WellOn, here we represent a very beautiful example of this synergy, because actually in this application Sensilator and with our hardware you can control very vividly all the parameters in the real time. Here you can see how the temperature might be controlled and the illumination in luxes and the voltage of your battery. So everything is just quite accessible, easy, and quite easy to understand, to collect data. So this is another example of our synergy with WellOn, because this is a report which you can generate based on our temperature and illumination sensor. So here you can see a very concrete example where when a truck has been traveling during, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3 days, yeah, something like that. And you can see here how the illumination values, so actually the doors were open to closed, and you can see that you can control it in the real time, because you can see the illumination sensor shows you actually the light values very clearly here, so your driver will not be able to cheat anymore because it's very clear. And temperature sensor actually shows you how the temperature has been changing all this time. So another report about temperature changes generated in WellOn as well. So shows how the values might be provided, demonstrated. And actually we have even created a special application to simplify your life. In the case you can't, for some reason, use WellOn web-based software, you can use this application just on your cell phone, just to download that and control temperature, illumination, inclination, or other parameters on your cell phone. And actually this is the only new slide, and I'm very happy this is visible, not invisible. So because it's important. Because we have brought our inclination sensor. This is the second wireless sensor we have created in our company after temperature and illumination sensor, and it controls the angle or the inclination. So in the range up to 180 degrees. So all the remaining characteristics are just similar to its temperature and illumination brother, ADM31. So I think benefits are evident here, and I don't want to read this slide because you are all professionals and you understand better than me what are the benefits, what might be the advantages and the benefits of using this solution. So, and I just want to leave some time for questions if you have these questions. Yeah.
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Very inspiring, especially ADM31.
ADM31 is our first.
Then you showed about the sensor.
ADM32, yes.
Is it compatible with other devices?
With other devices produced by our company, you mean, or by other companies? I understand actually your question. So we are very open for integration, and I mentioned this conference in Warsaw because 3 weeks ago, because I know that many people who are now here were also in Warsaw, and the main idea of this conference was the synergy of technologies, and we were talking just a lot about the importance of competition, collaboration, and I just can say that if the manufacturer of the device you will want to integrate with ours is also open to this cooperation, we will be very happy to integrate it with all our devices.
There's nothing against Neomagica's hardware. We do see that there are around 33,000 units on VLON itself, which is a really good number.
Yeah.
But there will be questions from partners about integrating your specific sensor, which is fantastic, especially since it's got long battery life and all those Bluetooth connectivity and temperature, as well as illumination, lux. So these questions will be very, common from our partners. That's why I was asking.
We are ready to support any protocols. We are ready.
Any more questions? Thank you, Nishad. Thank you, Nishad. Any more questions from the audience? Okay, here's one.
Just a simple question. Up to how many temperature devices can be connected to the tracking device? Bluetooth?
Actually, in August, the number I mentioned was just 5 sensors, five. But actually, we now customize our solution, and in theory, I think it can be much more now. We customize as per our customers' request, so we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Another question? Okay.
So many
From
questions.
Mrs. Samir.
I'm the only hardware manufacturer who has so many questions.
Thank you for the
I think that because of my presentation, very interesting. I think.
Bluetooth up to 100 meters, and we talk in most of the applications would be industrial sites or machinery, and how the 100 meters in Bluetooth technology, we all know it's line of sight.
Yeah.
But when we come to reinforce the chilled rooms or steel refrigerators, how accurate the maximum distance tested?
50 meters, we have this. Yes, because in the you're completely right. In the direct line of sight, it will be 100 meters. But for your case, we have the figure which is 50 meters, which is normally enough.
50 meters is it?
Yeah, which is normally enough, because we thought of this potential obstacle, because we have created the solution for refrigerators and we understood initially that walls might be really very thick.
Thank you.
My question is, I'm asking about the ATM31, the sensor. Can I, using the mobile application, can I connect directly to the ATM31 without the GPS device?
Yeah.
Without the need for GPS device?
If you want, yes, yes.
And get the readings?
Yes, yes, because it's if for stationary objects, for example, if you don't want to control the location of the object and you don't need GPS,
so just the sensor and
easily, yeah,
well,
yes, very easily you can do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
From the same income.
Yeah. One day I request from the national company certification of calibration for temperature sensor.
Certification of
calibration. That's mean accuracy. It's calibration, test calibration.
BTU certification.
What do you call it?
BTU certification.
Yeah.
We
there
don't.
is certification from.
No, we don't. We don't have this certificate for sure because we created it in Russia and we have just introduced it in the Russian market and we have conducted several tests in some countries, and I think that this certificate will be our future, but we not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, short conversation here. No questions as I see.
So many questions.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that we will be in Gurtam mega booth and we will be very happy to provide you with our samples. Shukran.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Okay. So that way, with two microphones, we are coming to the last presentation. Big boss with two microphones. Okay, for a guy like me, like fuel in the UAE is really cheap, but still we continue to get requests for fuel management from the region. That's why we want to consult this fuel management and fuel monitoring expert from Escort. Please welcome team on stage, Team Almanac from Escort Company, producing fuel management hardware. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and I represent Escort Monitoring Solutions, major manufacturer of various sensors for industrial, public utility, and agricultural use from Kazan, Russia. Here, our goal is to help our customers and the society as a whole to save overall spending through saving the fuel, through providing total fleet control. Here's the reason why our focus is towards fuel control. Up to 35% of expenses go towards further purchase of the gasoline, diesel, whatever that might be. How do we know all this data? We know it firsthand because besides just manufacturing the sensors, we've also got integration division, which does integration in the Republic of Tatarstan. Name is Sakura Escort and is certified partner of Gurtam. Besides just manufacturing fuel level sensors, we've also got various peripheral sensors, and actually some of them we were the first one to introduce as Escort TD BLE Bluetooth 4.0 sensor, fuel level sensor, also TD Online. It's a sleek solution combining GPS tracker and fuel level sensor in one box. All our sensors, they perfectly compatible with most popular trackers. However, if you would have any special demands, our 24/7 tech support would be able to accommodate basically all your needs, be that writing custom firmware or perhaps making even some hardware changes. Let me run you through some real-life cases we've done. Cameroon, Africa. Our Gurtam partner from partner from Gurtam Community Power Trace Solutions, Netherlands, has installed 250 TD on lines on the diesel generators.
perfect solution for that case. We do not recommend installing TD-on lines on certain kinds of moving hardware with, say, fuel tank being obstructed from the straight satellite view. However, for diesel generators, stationary diesel generators or regular trucks, it's a good choice. The next case, it's a major Russian oil company, Lukoil. Each tanker was equipped by 5 fuel level sensors for each compartment, also with 6 angle sensors for each lead and 1 for the master access door to prevent all possible waste of fuel theft. They also installed different kind of cameras and RFID tags, but we did not produce them, so. Here are some solutions that might be interesting for construction sector. As some of you might know, the concrete mixer has a spiral blade inside of it, and depending on what direction the drum rotates, the concrete is being either discharged or being mixed. So, installed escort net system consisting of RFID tag, active tag, and RFID reader would give you information what direction the drum rotates, therefore providing you with information what action was being performed. The escort net system installed on a crane basically works in an angle sensor mode, providing you with useful information what work was being performed by the crane's jib. Alright, here we go. This is our TD BLE sensor. The absence of the wires equals the absence of driver's vandalism, or perhaps accidental breakage of the wires. Also, it will save you tons of time while being installed. Let's see what's inside. Inside, lithium thionyl fluoride battery, minimum 7 years of working time guaranteed in harshest conditions, be that north of Russia or be that south of Africa, middle of Africa. Polyamide anti-vandalic case, the same material that is being used by Kalashnikov concern in the production of famous rifle. Very tough. Let's see how it works. The sensor communicates with the tracker via specific BLE protocol. There are a few trackers that does support this protocol, as we all heard, there's the Neomatica 007 BLE, also Tiltanica FMB series. However, even if your tracker does not support Bluetooth, or maybe does not even have a Bluetooth module, it still will be able to communicate with the sensor via a special base that we provide. The base itself will communicate with the tracker via RS-485. Besides just fuel level sensors, we already actually have Escort BTR. It's a Bluetooth temperature sensor. Soon to come, Escort TU180. Well, perhaps it's going to have a different code name because it's going to work through Bluetooth. And Bluetooth RFID tag, Bluetooth active tag. Pardon. Also, iOS and Android applications soon to be released on the market that would allow installers to configure it straight from the phone. The next step would be a creation of the driver's app that would show you the real-time data on your phone, say on a fuel level, that in theory would exclude the necessity of the installation of the indicator in the cab. We at Escort believe that everything in telematics will go wireless within the next 3 years. Wireless sensors, wireless trackers, cloud software, mobile devices. So we hope some manufacturers, more manufacturers are going to join us soon in this movement. Thank you for your valuable attention.
Okay, thank you for the presentation, and we have a question right here.
Yes, hello. My name is Maxim Ovsiesko from Ukraine. So, again, interesting question. You told about this Bluetooth wireless sensor. So, and 7 years of battery life. So, my question is, how many, everybody knows that sensors is measuring the fuel every second. So, what is the time of measuring, and what is the time of transmitting information to the tracking device?
That's a good question. Basically, Bluetooth Low Energy device would sleep 99% of the time. Wakes up, sends information, goes to sleep again. Wakes up, you know that. The timing is every 30 seconds. From what we see, it's enough to build you a nice, tidy, readable graph. So that's why the calculated, obviously the sensor have not been on the market for 7 years, so everything is mathematically calculated. Our research and development department, they said it's 12 years, but I cannot tell it's 12 years, you know, it's 7. So we go down 5 years, but that's what we've calculated, that's what we see, that's what we believe in is going to work.
So you mean like information is generated every 30 seconds and stored in a head, and then when there is some event, the sensor is giving information to the tracking device. Am I?
Well, so, from what I know, the communication between the tracker and the sensor would happen every 30 seconds. On regarding if the information is being stored in the head, I might need to ask for help. Would you know? Does it have a memory inside of it?
No, memory.
No? So yeah, I guess some events could be missed. If something would happen, like some kind of fuel theft would happen within 30 seconds, which is kind of hard to believe.
That's a bit short. Okay, so and the second question, you showed a slide where there was a sensor installed in a fuel carrier, yes? So is it like GITEX certified? What explosion-proof protection does?
Yeah. That was not the wireless sensor. That was our TT500.
And this?
Yeah. It has a explosion-proof certificate.
Okay, this is the time when we run out of the time for questions. So sorry. So let's thank Tim for this great presentation.